Hello and welcome to Computology Academy, and today we are going to discuss the previous year questions of JPSC 2016 for the purpose of 2021 GS mains exam. So JPSC mains exam previous year questions will provide an insight to the mind of the examiners who are going to set our questions. So it will be very beneficial for us to read the older questions, because of which we will get an idea to what kind of questions may be there in the paper. So let us start, and today we will discuss the history questions, that too objective questions for the paper GS 1 or overall the paper number 3. So the first question, there were 10 questions in the JPSC mains exam from history, and here 10 questions had the weightage of overall 20 marks. So the first question was, who defeated and assimilated the Vajjis into the empire of Magad? So Magad empire was in North Bihar in the Gangetic plains, and Vajji was also nearby the Patliputra, that region of Hajipur, Vaisali, etc. was the Vajji empire, which was ruled by the Lichvis. And here the Magadhans attacked the Vajji empire, defeated the Lichvis, and assimilated that region into the Magad empire. And that was done by Ajat Satru. So basically this is a factual question here. So here, if you are having good knowledge of history, then you can easily understand that this is the answer. And even if you are not known to so much about the history, then also you can easily eliminate the other options. Like Chandragupta Maurya was the founder of Mauryan dynasty, and he basically established his capital in Patliputra in the Magadhan empire, but he was not so big conqueror. He was not a warlord type person. Then Asoka, he attacked too much of the regions, but before him, here the region of Lichvi was under the control of Magadhan empire, and thereafter Mahapadma Nanda was the ruler of Nanda dynasty, and he did not attack the Lichvis. Basically Ajatsatru, who usurped the throne from Bimbisar, his own father, forcefully, he was basically a warlord type of person, and he attacked the Lichvis and assimilated their empire into Magadhan empire. Thereafter there is the question, Harappa was situated on the bank of which river? So this is simply a factual question. If you know it, then it's good. Otherwise, you have to make the guess. So the Harappa was situated on the bank of river Ravi. Now come to the next question. After the attack of Muhammad Ghaznavi, who among the following reconstructed the Somnath temple? So here it is also a factual question, and simply the answer is Bhimdev. Bhimdev was the person who reconstructed the Somnath temple after it was devastated by the attack of Ghaznavi, and it was looted by him, and all the wealth that was with the Somnath temple was taken away by him. Now the next question, which Mughal emperor followed the Ottoman style of war in India? So the Mughal emperor, first they came to India, and Babur was the person who fought the first battle of Panipat in 1526, and he established the Mughal empire, and he was the person who used the Ottoman style. He was basically a Uzbek. He came from Uzbekistan, and he was well acquainted with the war techniques of the Ottoman Empire. He was known about that. He also introduced gunpowder and matchlock guns in India for the first time in any war, and he was the person who was well known with the strategy of war that was used by the Ottoman Empire, and Babur used these techniques in India for the first time. Now, who wrote Humayunama? So Humayun was basically son of Babur and father of Akbar. His life was also full of events. He came to throne, he lost his throne to Sher Shah Suri, and thereafter again he reclaimed his throne. Such kind of themes goes on in his life time and again. And because of this, when Akbar came to throne, he wanted that his life story should be written and documented. For this purpose, he requested his aunt Gulbadan Begum, because she was the lady who was knowing each and every incident of Humayun. So Akbar requested him and told him to write the life story or autobiography of Humayun. So here in the option you will find Badayun, Ahmad Yagdgir and Abul Fazl. So all these are wrong. So the answer will be none of the above, and the answer is Gulbadan Begum. Now, in which year the Dutch landed in India? It is a simply factual question and the year is 1605. Thereafter the question was Mitra Mela was later renamed as. It is also a factual question. Basically, Mitra Mela was a union of extremists in Bengal, and that was renamed when it was pronounced as a terrorist organization by the Britishers. Thereafter, it was renamed as Abhinav Bharat Samiti by its leaders. So here the answer Anusilan Samiti will not be there, Jugantar will not be there, and Nibandh Mela will not be there. But here you should know that all these three were in Bengal, and all these three were extremist organizations. Now, Swaraj Party was an outcome of which of the following incident? So basically, Swaraj Party was a separate group within Congress. What had happened in 1907? There was a split in Congress, and the same situation was there in 1922 again. But here the Congress, whether they were moderates or extremists, both of them wanted that there should not be any split within the Congress, so that the Britishers will have an opportunity to crush them off, which was done after the 1907 split. So to avoid such kind of things, Swaraj Party, a separate group, was allowed to function under the banner of, under the stewardship of Congress as a separate group. And this situation was there because of Chauri Chaura Kand. The Chauri Chaura incident, when a police station was ablazed by the protesters and the policemen were killed alive. After that, the non-cooperation movement was withdrawn by Mahatma Gandhi, and in this situation, Gandhi was not supported by C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru. They wanted to continue with the struggle or the non-cooperation movement, as they were hoping that they will achieve too much of things from this. But Mahatma Gandhi was of different opinion. He thought that once a crowd becomes indisciplined and violent, then it will be very difficult to guide them and to control them. And if such situation will be there, then the British government will have an excuse to muzzle out the whole movement. And because of this, he withdrawn the non-cooperation movement. And for this dispute, C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru founded the Swaraj Party in 1922. So here the incident will be Chauri Chaura Kand. And now the next question is Bangam Manjhi was the leader of. He was the leader of which of the following movement? Basically, in the UPSC question, you will find that the statements of the questions are very small. Here, the students have to decipher what they want to ask. This will also be a situation when you will appear in the mains exam. So, Bangam Manjhi was basically a Santhal leader and he led the Safa Hor movement. Safa Hor movement was basically a Puritanian and revivalist movement by the Adivasis or the tribals who wanted that whoever the tribals are deviating from their ancient mode of worship and their traditional way of rituals should get back to their own cult, Sarna cult, and should start to follow the same rituals and the process of worship which was being followed by their ancestors. And here Bangam Manjhi was the leader. He taught his followers to wear the white dhoti, be bare body of, above the waist, and used to wear Rudraksh. And he said them that to follow the Sarna cult. So this was the revivalist movement, and basically this revivalist movement was not only for the religious point. Basically, he wanted to unite all the tribals under one union through the use of religion, and then to use that union against the Britishers who were trying to usurp their land. Traditional authority was being curtailed and they were not allowed to harvest the minor forest produce. They were restricted from entering the forest, and because of this their livelihood was getting hampered. Because of this they were not able to cultivate their own land. They had to pay the malguzari or the land taxes to the outsiders whom they considered the Dikus, and because of intermingling of the Dikus and the coming of the outsiders, their own tradition was getting hampered. They were not able to follow their own traditional rituals and they were deviating from their own path due to the influence of the Dikus. To throw out the Dikus and the Britishers out of the Santhal Pargana region and Rajmahal Hills region and to reclaim their own ancient lifestyle, this movement, the Safa Hor movement or the Puritanian movement, was started by Bangam Manjhi. So this was the history, and if you don't know the exact situation and the exact name, then it will be very difficult for you to answer such kind of questions. The Jharkhand specific questions will be very difficult for the students if they have no knowledge about the Jharkhand related history, geography, economics, etc. Because the Jharkhand related questions will be of very depth knowledge and difficult in nature. And here the role of Computology Academy comes into picture. So I will later on to tell you what to do to handle such kind of questions. Now the next question is Tana Bhagat movement was started by. So basically Tana Bhagat movement was started by Jatra Urao. Most of the people may be knowing that this was the leader. Here the Sibu Urao is not the answer, Theble Urao is not the answer, but here you may be trapped because Tana Bhagat movement was started by Jatra Urao, who is also known as Jatra Bhagat, and with him there was Turiya Bhagat, and both of them were the founder of Tana Bhagat movement in the Palamu region, and they were basically the worshippers of the Sarna cult or the Adi Dharma, and they don't use to worship other gods, they used to worship the tricolor of India. See the label of their nationalism, the love towards their country, that they used to worship the Adi Dharma or the Sarna cult, and thereafter the importance of the national flag, the tricolor comes into their life. And they were inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. When Mahatma Gandhi had came in 1922 during the non-cooperation movement, then he had said that the Tana Bhagats or the leaders of Tana Bhagat or the members of the Tana Bhagat movement are his best disciple, because they used to follow all the preachings of Mahatma Gandhi, like non-violence, non-vegetarian food ought not be consumed, boycott of the liquor, all those things were followed by the Tana Bhagat people in letter and spirit. And because of this, the Mahatma Gandhi had to told them that they were the best disciples or his favorite disciples. Now comes the picture of Computology Academy. Here we have launched the courses which are going to start from tomorrow, that is 7th of October. And these courses are available in online mode also and offline mode also. In the offline mode, there will be facility of installment also, but many students are contacting me and asking me for the installment facility in the online mode, but there is no option of EMI. You have to make one time payment and the fee will be 7,000. So most of the students might be in position to pay this, and most of the students have even taken the admission. There are only 40 seats and seats are getting filled very fast, and we have restricted the number of seats because we have to mentor each and every student personally and have to ensure their progress, their selection in the JPSC mains exam. And even after that, we will not charge any extra amount and we will guide the students till the interview, till the final selection. You will get the guidance from us. And here you will get the notes, handwritten and printed notes, both kind of notes will be there. There will be sectional and full length test series also, and all the students will have the option and opportunity to personally talk with the faculty in any specific doubt situation. So here the hand holding will be till selection, and many students are asking that, sir, we just want to get the notes. So the notes will also be available. We are going to launch the test series very soon, and with the test series we will provide a complete package of the test series, personal mentoring as well as the notes. So wait until the courses are launched of test series and other things. And here, for the rest of the information which might be disseminating from our institute can be found on our social media channels. For the other information and admission purpose, visit our website. The link of the website is provided in the description below. Just click on that and you will land on the website itself. And do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new videos, because this is going to be a whole series of the previous year questions that will provide you an insight, a good knowledge of what kind of questions you are going to face in the JPSC mains exam, how to approach that question, how to write the subjective questions, how to structure it. All those kind of things will be available here in our YouTube channel. So do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new videos. Thank you very much and have a nice day.